We have talked a lot about guys that could be traded to the Detroit Lions with this upcoming trade deadline in less than 2 weeks. But what about the people that the Detroit Lions could trade out? We've been thinking there's only one name that comes to mind, honestly, when it comes to somebody that could be traded out, and that is edge rusher James Houston. No shade to James. I think it's just time. I think he needs a change of scenery. He is obviously very low on the depth chart. The only thing that I think is saving him, honestly, is the injuries to the defensive line, that this guy can stick around. And to me, that's it. But you also have to consider the fact that there's going to be guys coming back. Eventually, we're going to get Emmanuel Mosley. We're going to get Broderick Martin. We're going to get, hopefully, John Kaminsky. And at that point, if James Houston is still here, are the Detroit Lions going to waive him or just outright? I think you have to clear through waivers because he's only had 3 years. With that being said, what other players could be possibly traded from the Detroit Lions? Well, this is an article I saw with SI.com, and shout out to SI, Detroit Sports Podcast, as they go by on Twitter. I actually did a podcast with John Macron, one of the writers over there, so look forward to that. As soon as I get that information about it, I think it's going to release. It's probably already out when you guys see this video, so I will definitely post that in the comment section or lead you in that direction. Very good. Part of the Lone Wolf podcast. Very good conversation. Had a great time. But here is what they had to say about 5 potential Detroit Lions who could be traded by the trade deadline. And number 1, no surprise here, edge James Houston. It is just time. It says Houston has failed to build upon his impressive 7-game stretch as a rookie in 2022, during which he burst into the scene with 8 sacks. Since then, he has only played in just 5 total games and has racked up 0 sacks and a lone QB hit. I think goes without saying. Now, you could say that his injury is one of the things that's holding him back, and that's very true. But the NFL is not for long. It is, what have you done for me lately? That's what it is. Now, he showed, I watched his film against the Minnesota Vikings. I think he played a total of 13 snaps. He did get to the quarterback in the quarterback's vicinity twice. But most of the time, he was getting bullied by Christian Darrisaw, who got hurt yesterday, so hopefully he's okay. But he just doesn't have the size and the strength. If he doesn't get past you, he doesn't get to you. So I could 100% agree with that. Now, the second person that they see could be traded is edge Josh Pascal. Says through the 2024 season's first 7 weeks, Pascal ranks second among Lions edge defenders with 9 total pressures. So I'm not saying Detroit is actively looking to trade the 24-year-old. However, if the Lions knew they had to give up Pascal as part of a trade package for an edge like the Raiders' Max Crosby or the Browns' Zadarius Smith, I don't think Detroit's front office would think twice about it. Now, that is very intriguing. If it were to me, I would keep Josh. If I was going to trade for Zadarius Smith, I would literally, I'm going to sound extremely mean right now, and I am not trying to be that way, but I would literally throw James Houston in any deal. James Houston is the equivalent to the free bobblehead that you get when you go to the Lions games. As a matter of fact, you get a Calvin Johnson bobblehead for the first 25,000 people that get to Ford Field this Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. James Houston, to me, is that bobblehead. He is that free add-on. He is that throw-in that you throw to spice up any trade. He might have no value by itself, but if you told me I would give up that James Houston has to be part of a Myles Garrett trade, 100%. If you said Zadarius Smith, I'm going to say negative when it comes to Pascal, but I would throw James Houston in there with no problem. So Pascal, the thing about Pascal is he has 1 more year. I think it would take it. Yeah, I would trade Josh Pascal for Myles Garrett. If Myles, I would prefer to put James in there, but I would trade Pascal for Myles Garrett. He only has 1 year left after this year. Myles Garrett to be here, and if we trade for Myles Garrett, we're winning the Super Bowl. There's no thing to that. And when it comes to Pascal, according to Dan Campbell, today he did not practice. It's looking like he might not play on Sunday. I expect when the injury report comes out, we probably already talked about that, but because this video is being recorded at 12 in the afternoon. So I think that Pascal may or may not play, but I could definitely see him not being traded only if the trade has to be worth it. And a guy like Myles Garrett would be worth it. So, all right, the third person. This name is a bit of a surprise. Wide receiver Isaiah Williams says, just like Pascal, I don't believe the Lions will be actively looking to move Williams at this year's deadline. Williams is just a rookie. He flashed a ton of potential this past training camp and preseason. He hasn't played a single snap yet, but could get a chance to play now with Jameson Williams being suspended. I could see that he's going to play, but they have no. I thought you guys told me that he played a snap. He played in a Rams game, but neither here nor there. Isaiah Williams, there is no film in the season with this guy. So I really don't see how, unless they got to dig into his college and the preseason stuff. I mean, would a team be willing to trade for an Isaiah Williams? I don't know. I would probably, if I'm looking at the Lions roster, I would probably steal Donovan Peoples-Jones off the practice squad. For the right team, I mean, a team decimated by injury, he could go in, and if you pull somebody off the practice squad, they have to start. They have to put in, but they don't have to start, but they have to go to the active 53-man roster. So for me, not sure I've seen enough of Isaiah Williams to trade for him, but I could definitely see maybe a Donovan Peoples-Jones snipe. So I'm going to say that this one, I think Isaiah sticks around. Number 4, wide receiver Allan Robinson says the veteran receiver and offseason acquisition of the Lions this past summer was signed to the team's active roster September 26, yet he has only appeared in 2 games since then and has been the recipient of just one measly target. That is true. I forgot what game that is. Allan Robinson is intriguing. It's intriguing. Kind of reminds me of like that Trinity Benson thing. I think that the Detroit Lions, it's just my opinion, I think that the Detroit Lions moved Allan Robinson to, and him and Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick was always brought here with the assumption he was going to get that 5th wide receiver spot. But him and Allan Robinson, I firmly believe that they decided to put them on the 53-man roster because as injuries start piling up around the NFL, they would be on the practice squad and they would have to be protected. Or move to the Detroit Lions 53-man roster in order to, they would have wound up there anyway. And I don't think that Brad and Dan wanted to risk both of those guys, knowing that we could also use them as well. So it's intriguing. Would I be willing to do it? You have Tim Patrick. He's number 5. I mean, right now, he's not getting, you still have Donovan Peoples-Jones on the practice squad. He has 1 target. It wouldn't hurt if we traded him, if the price was right. I'm going to tell you what, if any of these guys, any of them have to be included in a Myles Garrett trade, I put that they're gone. They are 100% gone. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. So I could see it happening for a team wide receiver needy team. If they're trying to make a run, trying to do something, and they need a wide receiver, I could see that. And I think it was smart for Brad and Dan to move him to the 53-man roster, even though he's not necessarily being used. So we wound up with 6 wide receivers on the active roster anyway. And here is the last person that this guy's name, it comes up every single trade by multiple sources and outlets. This guy, Craig Reynolds, says Reynolds has been active for all of the Lions 6 games as the team's 3rd running back, yet he has logged just 6 carries for 21 yards. And I believe that he also has a fumble that he had in I forgot what game it was where he came in. I think it was Dallas. I think he fumbled that game. Not a good look for Craig. Craig has been a great story. Again, I am getting rid of any of these guys to get Myles Garrett. So that's just, I hate to say it, but they are all expendable for Myles Garrett. Although I think the most realistic, I mean, would you trade for Craig Reynolds? If he comes in, he's not going to be your number 1 back. He might be number 2. Again, if you're going to trade for Craig Reynolds or Isaiah Williams or Allan Robinson, you're going to need help. I think even James Houston. I think the only person on here that could come in and you're going to trade for him based off him starting right away and potential for next year is Josh Pascal. I think all of these guys are kind of like, you really need some help to be in order to trade for these guys. So I agree with James Houston. I could see Allan Robinson. I could see it was one more as well. I mean, like I said, I think those are the only 2 that I could really see. So let me know your thoughts of Those 5 individuals, which one, if any, could you see traded? Would you be willing to give up any of them for a Myles Garrett? Put that down in the comments below. Also, don't forget about the green gridiron. I got to plug it every so often so you guys can remember. The helmets are still in stock. I am currently waiting for the mini alternate helmets. From what I understand, the Detroit Lions collectibles are one of the hottest things that green gridiron is selling right now. So when they get in stock, I try to let you guys know so that you can get your hands on one. When I bought mine for this desk here, I hesitated for like a little bit, and then I went and bought it, and then within 2 days they were gone. So I would strongly recommend, only if you can afford it, obviously, not trying to push anything on you that you can't afford. Everything is tight, but thankfully they have a payment plan. If you were to break it up in installments, I believe you can use Affirm via Shop Pay. So they'll break whatever you order, they'll break it up in installments, and it'll come out every 2 weeks. Or if you cash money in like that, you know, you can, for the 2000s, you can go ahead and cash that thing out. But also don't forget to use my promo code. It has changed. It is now DETSYN. So we can match all the syndicates under the brand. They also have a green gridiron code as well. So we doing big things, man. We only just now getting started. I also wanted to make an announcement that I told my members about. I'm going to tell you guys about it as well. I have decided that I am at a point that I am going to go full time into this. And what that means is that not that I'm doing this solely for it, like this is my sole source of income. It is my main source of income, but not my sole source of income. But basically I am, meaning everything YouTube, from AdSense to sponsorships to affiliate links. But I value my worth, and I'm going to put all my eggs in baskets that I can control. So the content that I put out, I can control that. So I'm going to basically take the risk, go ahead and make this leap. And you guys, through watching the content, supporting the affiliate links and things like that, you have allowed me to do this. So I want to say thank you, because this was my goal from 5 years ago. And by 45, I wanted to be full time, and now I am. And again, that means that I am putting all my effort. I'm leaving stuff I used to do behind. I was dividing my time. Now all my time is going to go into this. So when you guys say, Derek, do you do anything else? This is what I do. Yes, but this is my primary concern, because this is worth my time. That other stuff is not. But anyway, my members know, they knew first, and now you guys know as well. So I appreciate you. Again, the best way to support the channel is to watch the content. That is the best way. All the other stuff is secondary and appreciated. And no, I'm not I'm not like mooching off you guys to stay at home. That's not what's happening. So anyway, this is just the beginning, man. I got big plans for this channel and the syndicate as a whole. But anyway, you guys are awesome, man. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. I'm like PBS, I guess, just without the donations. That's not what keeps this channel afloat. But you watching this video absolutely does. All right. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. And as always, go Lions. And thank you for supporting Lions Syndicate. I appreciate you.